Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. These are the readings for the human design profile. Why did I say it like that? This is the reading. Specifically, this one is for the 6-3 human design profile, the role model martyr. If you don't know your human design profile, there's a link in the description below for you to get your human design body graph. And one of the bits of information about you specifically on there will be your profile. So we'll get you an oracle card, and then of course we'll get your tarot out. We have the Trout and Lily of the Valley Purification. These cards are so effing beautiful to me. I love them. We'll read about that, of course, once we get your tarot cards out. We have the Chariot in the reverse. I had to look. Anytime a card comes out in the reverse, I always my first instinct is to look to make sure that I'm not shuffling the cards upside down, because I don't shuffle reversals into my decks, but if they come out in the reverse, we leave them that way. So did I say it? We have the Chariot in the reverse. We have the Five of Wands in the reverse. And I literally go to look again because I'm like, what? Who was it? It was, I think it was Leo. Maybe Leo, where 6 cards came out at the same time, and then the way that they came out, they flipped around. So all of the cards were in the reverse for that reading. And I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh. Part of me was like, do I start this reading over again? No, absolutely not. That's totally outside of integrity for me. That's the way that the cards came out. That's the way that we're keeping them, And I mean, I feel like it was still a cool message. So anyway, 4 more. That was the Five of Wands in the reverse. We don't take the cards that flip. We only take the cards that come out because we want commitment, We want the message to be clear. How many cards is this? 4. That's exactly how many cards we need. We have the Crown of Coins or the King of Pentacles. We have the Apprentice of Coins or the Page of Pentacles. 10 of Swords, the Tower. Very interesting. Who's at the bottom? We have the 8 of Pentacles and then the 10 of Pentacles. 6 of Wands. Interesting. So let's see. Well, let me make sure. Okay. I mean, it looks like everything is. Does that help? No. A little bit. There we go. That's a little better. Lighting wise, I don't have the best lighting situation, but let's see. All right. So the Trout and Lily of the Valley Purification. Both the Trout and the Lily of the Valley symbolize return and restoration. A river or lake teeming with trout indicates a balanced and healthy ecosystem. Conservation efforts at rewilding streams often focus on reintroducing trout to their native habitats once rivers have been decontaminated and barriers such as dams removed. Likewise, in the Victorian language of flowers, the Lily of the Valley communicates a return to happiness. This is perhaps due to the legend of Saint Leonard, a hermit said to have slain the last dragon in England. Wherever the blood of the dragon was spilled, lilies of the valley grew. And once the dragon was killed, Saint Leonard returned to his life of peaceful solitude. Upright, your difficulties are subsiding and happiness will soon be restored. Now is a perfect time for quiet meditation and deep introspection. Reversed, the toxic element, a toxic element is in the way of your happiness. Consider what pollutants, I wanted to say anyway, consider what pollutants may be upsetting your balance and seek to remove them. Is there harmony within my personal ecosystem? How do I tell the difference between a toxic person, situation, or idea and one that is required for balance? You know, it's interesting. Like, we kind of have this give and take kind of thing happening here, this like up and down kind of like situation with the Chariot in the reverse with the Apprentice of Coins. Like, this is kind of the sprouting of a new something, even like a new routine, a new job, a new idea, a new research, a new project in some aspect. But the Chariot in the reverse is like, it's like something is possibly preventing you from moving forward or moving towards it. And maybe it's a little bit of like the teeter-totter of like, do I, don't I, is it, isn't it, type of thing. But the Chariot is associated to Cancer. We're in Cancer season. We're about to be done with Cancer season. Actually, what is today? The 22nd? So we might actually be in Leo season now because I can't remember dates. Okay, so today is the last day of Cancer season. So that's interesting too, possibly. Anyway, and the reason why even that I bring that up and that I even looked at it is because, I mean, we would be looking at Cancer season the end of June through literally today. So like, has everything been chaotic for you too? Like it has been for everybody else, in one aspect or another. Have there just been revelations that have come up in the last month? Decisions, that you are kind of, on the fence with, with that 6th line. I mean, you could be on the roof depending on where you are, like in your 6th line process. It comes with that 3-tiered, the first 30 years before your Saturn return. The 6th line operates as a 3rd line, so it's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of learn by experience. It's a lot of life lessons. It's a lot of, like getting your hands dirty. So you're even operating as a 3-3 during that time, right? Which kind of adds that extra sprinkle of a 3rd line chaos, if you will. But then, after your Saturn return, you kind of retreat a little bit more. You become more of an observant. They call it going up on the roof, kind of seeing more of the big picture, unpacking a lot of the baggage, a lot of the experiences, the life lessons that you picked up in your first 30 years before your Saturn return. So now it's unpacking all of that. What stays, what goes, what works, what doesn't, what do you like, what don't you like? And then, of course, after the age of 50 or around your 2nd Saturn return, you come off the roof fully in your role model glory, right? So that could even be mixed up in this Chariot card, because upright, the Chariot is about literally moving things forward. It's interesting because so we have this stark white, this stark black here, right? And it's like going into this, what looks like a pearl, in this mouth, right? So it's like the things that you are ingesting. And with it being in the reverse, just the imagery on this card immediately when I first saw it, I got this feeling of like downloads. You could be really connecting to your higher consciousness. Literally really just opening your crown to, and of course, like, it's kind of one of those things of like, be careful when you do that. Just be discerning with the information that comes in too. Is it true for you or not? Just because it's out there, just because it drops in, doesn't mean that for one, it's yours, for two, it's true. So, there could be a lot of stuff that, you're just kind of feeling dropping into your consciousness. Because if it were to be upright, it's almost like it would be now flowing down into this apprentice of coins, right? Just by the way that these cards look. So I think that's interesting. And I think the reason why the Chariot is in the reverse as it is because maybe you don't have all of the information yet. Maybe you're not ready to make moves forward yet. Maybe you are still receiving information. You're still kind of sorting through things. It could also be, like taking your hands off the wheel type of thing, like a level of trust. It's like opening your crown and just really tapping into your intuition and allowing yourself to be guided by that versus, the 3D motivations that we have down here as measly humans, It's interesting. Because, and again, like, I don't see the Chariot as being negative in the reverse. It doesn't feel negative. It just feels like the information is coming in differently. Maybe there is a delay. Maybe you feel like things haven't been moving forward as quickly as you want them to. Maybe it does have something to do with really honing in on what's working in your life and what's not working. What are those little things, whether it's a behavior pattern, a thought pattern, a person, a relationship, a job, whatever it is, like, is there something that is taking energy from you in a negative way, Because then we have it paired with the Apprentice of Coins, which is the Page of Pentacles. And I do call the Page of Pentacles the Apprentice. So I love that this deck uses that terminology anyway, because pages are the newbies. It's allowing yourself to be new at something. There's already the Ace of Coins is already planted. It's already sprouted. Roots, it's already, sprouted leaves. So there's something that it's already there, And the Page of Pentacles is going to put their time, put their effort, put their resources, put their physical presence into whatever that thing is in order to see it grow even further and become the Crown of Coins. Because again, the Crown of Coins is the King of Pentacles. So I actually love that we go from the Page to the King, literally on opposite ends of the spread too, which is even better. Because really what that tells me is that you're moving through this energy. So that's good. But, Pentacles, again, it could be a job because it does have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time. How are we spending our time? How are we investing our time? Our energy. It's literally anything that we place value and worth in. It's our physical health too. So there could even be something to do with your health. It could be like a new diagnosis. It could be, like I said, even at the beginning, it could be a new like daily routine, lifestyle, type of change. Maybe you start eating breakfast and you haven't really had breakfast, in the last 10 years. Or I don't know why that came up to my mind, but anyway, so again, just to really beat that point in, there's something new, and it's literally, it's like something that's like being dropped down. It could even just be something too, it's going to be a slower process, because the Chariot can be fast. Pentacles are generally slow. So it could just be, it's a slow moving process. Trust the process. Also, even trust the guidance that you are receiving. Also, we have the Five of Wands in the reverse. There's some sort of conflict that's going to be resolved. And I love that it's paired with the Ten of Swords, which is also like a completion. So wands have to do with action. It's the motivation behind the actions that we take, creativity, passion. It's our zest for life, how we're communicating those things, what actions we're taking towards those things. And I also see wands as being information by way of experience, because that's what we get by trying things. We figure out what works, what doesn't work, what do we like, what don't we like, what stays, what goes, right? And literally the way to figure those things out is by trying. There's only so far we can go by thinking our way through things. There comes a point where we're going to have to try them. I always see the Five of Wands. I always think of Mulan with the Five of Wands too, because, in Mulan, when they go to warrior training, it's like a shit show. Everybody is competitive. There's a ton of ego, around. Nobody's working together, right? There's conflict. But then something changes, through working together, through getting to know each other, through, right, learning to trust each other, because there's usually more than one person depicted on the Five of Wands, which is why it is spoken about in the sense of conflict and competition, with other people. So, but it's through those things that you learn to build a relationship. You learn to trust people. You learn to trust yourself. You build confidence both in yourself and other people. And then, obviously, right, because it's training, it's conditioning, which is also part of the Page of Pentacles, because you are learning something new. So you do need to be trained. You do need to ask questions, right? And be in new spaces and literally, physically, show up to a different space, or even put your energy into a specific project, right? And so part of the lesson with the Five of Wands is so that you can go into quote unquote battle and be victorious, which is the Six of Wands. And we have that behind, or, at the bottom of the deck under a couple cards, but still there. And again, it's in the reverse. So there would be some sort of conflict that's being resolved. It could even just be giving yourself a break. It could be somebody else, other people giving you a break, kind of getting off your back about something, getting out of your own way. I don't know if I said that out loud. And then the Ten of Swords. Swords have to do with our mind, thoughts, ideas, beliefs, our mindset. It's also truth and honesty, but divine truth, objective, objective truth. I also see swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, to feelings, which then becomes the reason why we do things, why we don't do things. It's our personality, it's our temperament. And like I said, tens are completion. We can see all these swords are broken here. So to me, this is like the overthinking, overanalyzing, considering all the what ifs. It's like there's nothing left to consider. There's nothing, like, you have all of the information, you have the intelligence, you have the knowledge. This could even be, of course, like changing your mindset. There's this butterfly here, and all of these swords are, broken, facing this butterfly too. So it's, it could be all of those what ifs, all of those considerations, the hamster wheel that we can kind of tend to get on, that anxiety and all of that. There's something here of like allowing yourself to move forward without having all of the answers. Even, like what ifs. It's interesting. Like I was having this conversation with a friend a few weeks ago about what ifs, because we all get stuck in like FOMO or those well, what if this and what if that, not wanting to make the wrong decision. Maybe feeling like there's too many decisions to consider, too many paths, right? Whatever. And really, like, none of those what ifs even matter, because you won't even know. Like, we have no way of knowing how something is actually going to play out until we actually do it. Because again, when I was talking about, the Five of Wands and trying, right? I mean, truly the only way to actually know how you feel about something, what you think about something, is by trying. You know how many times I picked up a hobby and was so convinced that I was going to love it. I just like over consumed on stuff for it. Tried it, hated it. There's been plenty of things that I thought I would hate that I actually loved. There's been a lot of stuff that I thought I was going to love and I did. A lot of stuff that I thought I was going to hate and I did. But those answers didn't become clear until I actually tried it. Because again, your mind can talk you into and out of a lot of shit, and that's your own filter of your ego, right? Your personality, your temperament, your fears, like where those anxieties like come from, where those even like what ifs, where do those even come from, right? So anyway, there's something here where it can be cleared out. It could be, like resolved in some aspect, and that could just be by taking out what is no longer serving you. What is like one thought, just one, that doesn't help. This is also like the straw that broke the camel's back type of thing. It's like that last straw. And usually that is something, usually when the last straw happens, that does cause a shift. And then we have the crown of coins, or the King of Pentacles. I love that, like in the background of this card, if you can see, it has like a drawing of the leaves from The Apprentice of Coins. Because I just noticed that. I can't even tell you how many times I've like seen this card. Never noticed that before. But to me, that just says, it's like remembering your roots, literally, like, where you came from. It also tells me that this point, whatever this Page of Pentacles is pivotal to this King of Pentacles. Like, they are literally intertwined. You have to be here in order to get here. Obviously, kings are the highest expression of the suit. So this is somebody that is successful. It's reaching your goals. It's, having enough money, resources, time, your health being improved or in great shape. It's also an authority. So it could be, if it is job related, it could be a promotion to a leadership role. It could just be people looking to you for help, like a mentor, training. It's also even recognizing your own power and standing, being grounded in your own power, noticing your worth, accepting what you are worth. And then we have the Tower card, which I believe is Mars, which is Aries or Scorpio. It feels more Uranus though, but I mean, I guess we just had that Uranus and Mars like conjunction. And I only think like Uranus because of the, unpredictability, the sudden upheaval, surprise aspect with like Uranus. But it's interesting. We start with the Chariot in the reverse at the beginning, and then we have the Tower card at the end. And the Tower card, again, like it does speak to sudden change. The Tower is only going to affect the things that are no longer serving you. So it's kind of like by being in this position, right? So we started over here, and, like I said, the Page of Pentacles is directly tied with the King of Pentacles. So by going through this process, it's almost like that naturally what is no longer serving, naturally what is, toxic to you, it's going to be taken out of your life in one aspect or another, or it's just going to fall away on its own. Because it's kind of like, like your energy shifts, and it's kind of like you're no longer accepting bullshit. Because I mean, this Tower, it's not like, in the traditional depictions of it, the Tower is struck by lightning. People are jumping out of it. It's like crumbling, right? But in this card, it's not. It's almost like, the Tower is being taken to where it needs to go. This is the Chariot upright energy, because the Chariot upright is being guided to exactly where you need to be. Exactly where you quote unquote should be. It's universal guidance, right? And that's how this Tower card feels. So it's kind of like all of a sudden you're just going to be like, this is exactly where I should be. And even just looking around and being like, wow, not having those energy vampires, whatever it was, again, whether it was a relationship in some capacity, whether it was a job, whether it was, a behavior or thought pattern, it could even be timelines that have just been left open. Those are just, they're getting closed down. They're taking up too much energy, waiting for closure, or like that one last conversation, or even just being open to receiving communication in some aspect. No, all that shit, like it's being closed down because it's taking too much energy to keep that thing going versus, like allowing you to move forward. We have the Eight of Pentacles, which is, putting in the work, repetition, mastering a skill. It's also like duplication, or like, did I say the word replication? Because usually, like in the Eight of Pentacles, they are duplicating or replicating these pentacles, right? But they're practicing their craft. They're learning how to replicate the thing perfectly, right? So it's two different, it's like mastering a skill, mastering something, and also learning how to reproduce that thing so that it's kind of like that continuous flow. You're outputting, but it's coming back in. You're outputting, you know, and the energy is coming back in. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles behind that. So we have the 10 of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, which are like the two most successful Pentacle cards. Like the 10 of Pentacles is generational wealth, legacy, family. You know, it's like having enough for yourself and also others, you know, like having the ability to expand what you have. You know, I mean, it would be, you know, being able to like afford real estate, being able to, you know, upgrade whatever your car, you know, whatever the case may be. It's having enough to be able to do that. The 6 of Wands, again, right? Victory, success, recognition. The 10 of Wands, the Apprentice of Swords, High Priestess, Ace of Wands. I could keep going, but I feel like this is probably long enough. So I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.